You ready?
Yep. Oh, I didn't know we were
That's
going.
the intro. Go. Come on. Let's go. We're recording.
Oh, welcome.
Come on. No stops here. Let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of Not Travis Joe and Dad. Today we'll be talking about baseball and our Montana trip.
Yep. Sorry about that intro. It would be one of our most creative ones yet. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. I guess first of all, we can say we've been on a little break.
Yes.
Long break, probably a month and a half.
Yeah, I would guess so.
A lot of baseball in there.
A lot.
A whole lot of baseball. Make sure you're talking into the mic and not, you're like looking down and the mic is in your nose, not your mouth. Not that close. It's going to be a little too much. But yeah, we've been full send baseball. Planned on having more turkey content for you guys, but
no.
No, and it's one of those things. I guess this will be our little quick catch-up period.
Yeah.
Third day of turkey season here. I had a tree fall on my shop. Completely leveled it.
Very true.
And that took kind of, now I won't say the wind out of my sails because I'm still eager, but it's taken a lot of my time.
It has.
And it's not even close to being finished. So it was just a shop.
And our four-wheeler's demolished.
Yeah, four-wheeler did get crushed in half.
And lawnmower, but it's in better shape than the four-wheeler.
But it's just things, not that big of a deal. Just taking a whole lot of time to deal with insurance companies and removing the trees and got to tear the building down and quotes and cities.
We did the tree by ourselves.
Yeah, we're doing it all by ourselves because they wanted $15,000 to come remove a tree in a building.
Yeah.
So I said, I got a chainsaw and a screwdriver and, drills and all that stuff. So.
And a dad and a son.
That's right. So anyway, we've been a little preoccupied. Baseball's been ripping and running. Tournaments every weekend, practice 2 days a week. Joe's been playing on his team, filling in for other teams. And yeah, it's just been one of those things. But this is going to be part one.
Yes.
Of a 2-part series, maybe 3-part. I think really just 2-part.
Yeah, I don't think it would need 3 parts.
We just landed back in town from Montana. Tell everybody why we went to Montana.
For the Montana Knife grand opening.
Yep. 3.0.
3.0.
Yeah, it was a big to do. I mean, we have a whole lot to talk about.
Originally, I wasn't even going.
Well, no, I guess, yeah, we'll get in. That is part of the story, right? Originally, I was flying up because if you have followed along at all, I love turkeys. And, we've actually gone up in the past and made it a family trip where I've hunted turkeys and all this.
But normally on the road.
Yep, normally driving. But this particular event, had flight. And so I moved my flight out enough to give me like 3 days to run around in the mountains. Because when I was up there in October and November trying to find elk, and when I did shoot the mule deer, I was marking turkey spots all over. Found turkey tracks here and there. So had all this stuff marked. And the way it was going to work was I was going to fly up, go to the MKC grand opening, hang around, see some friends, and then turkey and bear open on the 15th of April, and was going to hit the ground running for 3 days and then fly back. Well, unbeknownst to me and most people, because I don't think the state of Montana really actually advertised this at all, they carried their upland bird policies from the fall over into turkeys. And so non-residents couldn't hunt till the 25th. And I did not know that. Had to move flights around. And so, yeah, it ended up when I moved flights around, Joe was able to come and
my mom
and Lauren, and we made a family trip out of it. So that's what happened. And it honestly probably worked out great that way because I think I would have loved to be hunting turkeys right now instead of hunting turkeys right now. But you got to have maybe the trip of a lifetime.
Yes. I mean, we'll get into most of it on the next part.
Well, no, we're going to cover it in days. So this will be our trip in Friday night, which I think Friday night was probably pretty epic. And then Saturday was epic. But, I mean, from start to finish, I'm pretty sure Joe had this is a trip he'll remember the rest of his life.
Let's just say I'm on another YouTube, too.
We'll get into that. But we headed out from Mississippi last Thursday.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Thursday.
Yeah, we had to get all the stuff ready on Wednesday, get the dogs where they needed to be and all this stuff. So we flew out Thursday. Relatively easy travel. flying out of Jackson, you don't have a whole lot of options. So it was like, and that's Jackson, Mississippi. It was either 4 or 5 connections and get to Montana at 9:45 at night, or fly to Dallas and
with
sit
a
there.
6-hour
Yeah,
layover.
6-hour layover and still get there at 9:45 at night. So,
which this is like my first time flying with actually knowing it, because last time I was like 3.
yeah. And so we flew to Dallas, had, relatively easy flights. There was, at one point, they weren't going to let Joe on the plane.
It was very, very annoying.
It was annoying because all 3 tickets were purchased at separate times. You couldn't buy Joe a ticket because he's a minor. He's only 10. So I had to call American Airlines and have them sell me the ticket because he had to be attached to either me or his mom's ticket. But then when you go to check in on the app, they won't let Joe check in because he's a minor. So you have to check in when you get there. Anyway, long story short, he didn't have a seat. They're like, oh, they'll just assign him one when you get to Dallas, Bolton to Missoula. Well, that flight was oversold and overweight. So like 4 minutes into it, they still did not assign him a seat. And I'm like, well, what's the worst case scenario? They're like, well, one of y'all can fly with him and one of y'all will have to stay here. I was like, well, that's going to be an issue. Long story short, they ended up getting him a seat and we got to Montana just fine.
They assigned me a seat while we were boarding.
Yeah, while actually half the plane was already boarded.
Yeah.
But we got there, smooth sailing, called an Uber. Actually, we met up with Chase, our buddy Chase, in the hotel, and we split an Uber. Actually, no, we didn't split an Uber. He had to wait on his bag.
Yeah, he had.
So we got there. As soon as we walked in, a lot of our friends were in the lobby.
A lot of them.
So got to see them. Mike and Brett and David were all in the lobby already. So saw them, and it was great seeing everybody. Got checked in, and I'll let you kind of kick off Friday morning. What did we do?
So Friday morning, did we eat breakfast or did we just go straight to MKC?
I think you and your mom ran down to the lobby and got breakfast.
Yeah, me and my mom went down to breakfast in the hotel while Dad was still sleeping and got some breakfast there. Went back up. Dad woke up, took a shower, we got dressed, and then we called an Uber to MKC, and we basically spent the entire day there, but I'll give you some more details what we did. So we shopped around, we met some friends, we got a tour of MKC.
Yeah, Brett ran you around on a little private tour before the chaos started.
Brett's really nice.
Yeah, you need to go check out Brett Benton. Him and his wife have started a YouTube channel.
Yeah, you need to everything about like bear and how to render bear fat and stuff.
Well, it's a whole wild game processing channel, and I'm pulling this. I think I'm pulling this off. It's the Wild Game Workshop.
Pretty sure that's it.
Yeah, if you haven't, go follow that. Give it some love. Super knowledgeable and especially bear, but Brett's like me. We love to process stuff. So if you're into that, definitely go check that out.
And then we let's see. So we shopped around, bought some stuff. I bought some stickers because I love stickers. My whole bedroom door, we've talked about this, is nothing but stickers.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a cutting board for a buddy. We what else we did?
So let's break it down. When Joe says he shopped for some stuff, MKC opened a Black Rifle coffee shop inside of their manufacturing facility. And so not only can you get great coffee, they have their first ever actual retail location inside.
Which, if you're listening from Missoula or somewhere around Missoula, go get you some coffee and shop around.
Yeah, so they have a lot of stuff actually in the retail space that you can't buy online and stuff like that. So we were definitely, I had some things on my list. Like right now, Joe's microphone stand is a Turtle Box Ranger that's orange with MKC. So it's actually got the MKC logo on it.
Which you got Friday.
Yeah, I got that Friday. That was on my list. And just some like shirts and stuff. I'll be honest with you, we're probably pretty covered up in most things.
Oh, and a knife. I also bought a knife.
Well, yeah, that's part of the story. So we're shopping around, and I did buy a knife. They had
the factory
store opening, Blackfoot. You could only get it at the retail store. So I bought one of those, and Joe's walking around, and even though we have most of these knives, he's like, ooh, I need this one. I got to have this one. I love this one. I need this one. And then I was like, I get it. I just bought a knife to kind of remember the moment. And so we talked about it. He had a little money that my parents gave him. And I was like, well, if you want to pay for half of it, I'll cover the other half. And so tell him what you ended up deciding on.
I ended up deciding on a Stockyard because it's best for what I do. I'll abuse the knife. it'll get worked pretty good.
By abusing the knife, I've walked out there and watched him just like have a knife and like hitting a tree with it. I'm not really sure what he's trying to accomplish, but he's just wearing it out like it's a baseball bat on the tree.
You used to do that. You used to take your baseball bats and hit trees.
But you're taking a knife and hitting a tree.
And I originally wanted the redacted because it was like a good knife for that because it's thick.
It is, but it was also outside of your price range.
Yeah, it was like 300 and below.
Yeah, somewhere around there
was my price range.
But yeah, we did some shopping. Joe was torn between a few knives, but he settled on the Stockyard.
What was the other one I wanted? Freeze Out?
Yeah, you were looking like Sharp Tail or the Freeze Out. It was a little bit smaller. But really, I think the Stockyard was a good option. I mean, it's more of a ranch-style knife made for everyday use and abuse. It's not really...
Hey, that rhymed.
Yeah, it's not really designed for any specific hunting. It's more designed for just straight utility work.
Yeah.
Which is a good kind of arsenal, like to have in your arsenal, because like most of our other ones are really primarily for hunting. So it was a smart choice, and I ended up covering that for Joe, the portion he didn't have. So we, saw a lot of people. I mean, as soon as, well, you should tell the story. As soon as Josh saw you, like ran up, gave Josh a hug.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he ran up, gave me a hug. And
then tell him what else you did.
Oh,
what'd
like
you
meeting
give Josh?
people? Oh, I gave him my podcast sticker.
And what'd he do?
He put it straight on his MKC water bottle.
Yeah, I've already seen it on some pictures. So Joe brought a select few. We only had like 3 stickers left, maybe 4.
No, we thought we had 2.
We thought we had 2, and he had a select few people he was going to give them to, and Josh was one of them. And Josh put it right on his water bottle. Joe was super excited about that.
Let's talk about some people that we met Friday.
Well, no, you got to do it. When you tell a story, you have to tell it in like a chronological order, so it arcs, right?
Okay.
So yeah, we just met a lot of people. We have the Facebook group, the Montana Knife Company User Society. Met a lot of those guys as soon as we walked in. Bunch of cool dudes. Got to meet a lot of them. Got our shopping done. Ended up putting most of our stuff in a box and throwing it in Brett's truck so he didn't have to carry it around.
Yeah.
And then you were kind of just walking around and looking to see who you could see. I guess the first person you met that wasn't affiliate, like actually worked for MKC, would be
Jim Miller.
Jim Miller.
Which, if you don't know, he's a UFC fighter.
Yeah, Jim has been fighting in the UFC, I want to say since 2009.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Joe loves watching Jim fight. I met Jim at the first grand opening. But if you don't know Jim, go look him up. He has the most wins in UFC history. I want to say he has the most submission wins in UFC history. He just has an incredible resume.
He also has, well, as soon as we walked up to him, I introduced myself and was like, you have my favorite UFC moment. It was your 26-second fight when you did a guillotine in midair and choked the guy out. Yeah, and the best part was Jim, he looks at you and goes, yeah, that was a good one. And it was just really cool. He's super nice guy, super humble. We actually, when we were walking around, MKC has a gym for their employees. Oh, yeah, they do. And Jim was in there working out because I want to say he has a fight coming up in May. So he was in there working out. But yeah, you got to meet a lot of folks there. And then we probably hung around for a few hours, but then we split and went and grabbed lunch. Where? Wally and Bucks? That's where we ended up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally forgot. I'll let you tell us because you're a better storyteller. All right. Well, Lauren wanted a nice burger, and we had gotten there the night before, and so she was looking around like Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever, and she saw this place, and she was like, oh, yeah, maybe we could do this. And it was supposed to have, if you don't know, we have a bougie diet routine. Like me and Joe, it's not bougie. We have to do it. Yeah, me and Joe can't handle gluten, so we're gluten free. And I definitely can't handle. Joe dairy. Actually can't really handle sugar. Joe doesn't eat sugar, gluten, dairy, any of that kind of stuff. You save that for another podcast. But so we needed some gluten free options. And if you hear him, the reason he's all coughing and snotty is because he got into food he shouldn't have. It was a trip. It was special. I know. I'm not saying anything one way or the other. But so we leave MKC, and she was getting some food options from Tori with MKC, and she said Montana Jack's, and nobody ever said anything good or bad. So we end up taking an Uber to Montana Jack's, and it is... Mom's the one that offered it. Yeah. It's probably not on the best
side of Missoula. It was a casino, and there was nobody there. It you definitely looked like a place I wasn't gonna eat.
We
So
didn't even step foot
no,
in
we
the
didn't.
place.
We didn't even walk in. It wasn't the best selection ever. But from there, we ended up at Wally and Buck's.
The Uber driver left, and immediately we ordered another one.
Yeah, we ended up at Wally and Buck's, which was a great burger spot.
It was amazing. If you go to Missoula, you have to go to Wally and Buck's.
Yep, and so ended up having a nice smash burger. Kind of got back.
I got the OG. You got the secret single.
Yeah, got back to the hotel, relaxed for a little bit, and then got ready for the big night. So Friday night was the, I guess, smaller party, the invite-only party, which still had like 600 folks there. It was something crazy. And we called an Uber back over there, and from there, Joe basically walked around like he owned the place.
Well, you forgot.
Okay, well,
Mom is the one who got me in there because we thought that there was no kids allowed, and I didn't have like a ticket in or whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, it worked out. Granted, there's enough people there that the invite said no kids, but long story short, it wasn't really even a long story. Joe is coming. Joe's been a part of MKC since he was a little tyke at this point. And, Josh and Jess wanted him there, and Hannah, who put everything together, who was incredible, was like, yeah, you're bringing Joe. So we brought Joe, and got our name tags. And then from there, I kind of, oh, wait, no, let's back up. Who'd you meet in the lobby? While we were, we had a lot of, we had a few hours downtime. So me and Joe were down in the lobby. He was getting some chips and water, and we're sitting there. And who do you spot?
Remi Warren.
Yeah, Remi Warren is Joe loves Remi Warren, and so do I. I've learned a lot from Remi. He's I think a great. I don't know. He's great for hunting, in my opinion. He's taught a lot of people a lot of things, made them more effective. And so Remi's walking through the lobby, and Joe is running after him. And I want to say I wasn't anywhere close, but I want to say, did you walk up to him and go, "Are you Remi Warren?"
Yes.
And he goes, "Yes, I am." And I'll let you kind of tell me what you asked him.
I don't even remember what I asked him.
Well, we ended up having about a 30-minute conversation with Remi in the hotel lobby. He was a super gracious dude, super kind, humble. Talked to Joe about hunting. I love my trucks and campers and all this stuff. So he was telling me he got a new camper on his truck, and it was the Go Fast Max or something like that. Anyway, just had a great conversation with Remi, probably 30 minutes. I was like, "Hey, we'll see you tonight." But that was Joe's second person he got to meet.
Yes.
And then so let's skip back forward to Friday. We get there, and there's just people everywhere. It was awesome. I mean, they had a tent set up outside of the facility, and we're really just kind of walking around and meeting folks and seeing folks and talking to people and seeing a bunch of my friends at this point that work there, seeing them and meeting their families. Actually, let's back up. I keep forgetting things. Let's back up to when we were about to leave MKC in the middle of the day. Who'd you meet there? Because I wasn't around you. Your mom actually spotted them.
Oh, Bearded Butchers.
Yeah, you met
Seth.
Yeah, Seth and his family. And then you definitely wanted to talk to him. Super great guys.
He's very nice.
Him and his whole family were just a pleasure to meet. Chatted with Joe a bit.
Mom was like, "Hey, is that Bearded Butchers?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I was surprised that she spotted them.
Oh, yeah. Well, she pays attention sometimes.
Huh.
But he had his whole family there, and it was really nice to meet him and his wife and his kids. They were super sweet folks. So we met them early on the day, and I told him, I was like, "Well, Joe, one of the things he said he was going to do is he was wearing his Bearded Butcher shirt tomorrow, and he definitely wants a picture with you." And I won't spoil anything, but I think we made that happen.
Yeah, we did.
So yeah, Friday. Well, now we're kind of jumping around because when you talk about this kind of things, it's a lot to process. But Friday we're walking around.
Oh, their food was really good. They had pork belly and huckleberry sauce.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
They had so MKC had a lot of their brand ambassadors in the barbecue space cooking the food, and I would love to tell you who they are, but I don't know. I think one of them's Grilling with Dad. Some of the other ones. But they just made some incredible barbecue. The pork belly looked like cheesecake.
It did.
It had a huckleberry sauce on it or something.
I wish we had huckleberry stuff down here.
I know.
It is amazing.
It was incredible. So yeah, we're just kind of walking around, meeting people, seeing people. Tell me about So you walk by or no, you're standing there and Josh walks by. Josh Smith owns MKC, if you're not familiar.
Oh,
You
when
and
I was with Mom?
Yeah, because I was over there looking at the shelves, seeing what all they had in stock.
So, also, Cam Haynes was there. Me and Mom were standing like 10 feet away from him waiting to talk to him because he was talking to somebody. And then Josh walks by. He's like, y'all having a good time? We were like, yeah. And he's like, what y'all doing? And Mom was like, he's waiting to meet Cam Haynes. And he's like, oh, come on. Enough with waiting. He walks over to Cam Haynes. He's like, hey, Cam.
Yeah.
This kid right here has a podcast. He's an amazing hunter. And what else did he say?
He was very gracious and said that you have a podcast with his dad and that you're a good hunter and he wanted to meet you. And so then you get to talk to Cam Haynes.
Yeah. You take it from this point.
Well, Cam again was incredibly nice, incredibly kind. Talked to us for several minutes. He was just, he's just very genuine guy. It was a pleasure to meet him. But he was talking to Joe, and of course, as you expect, if you know anything about Cam, we get to talking about bows.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, Joe's goal this year is to kill one with a bow. He's got a compound bow. He's working on him, but he's actually really good with a recurve. Like, you can pull a 52-pound recurve and hit most things he's aiming at. And so Cam was just kind of talking a little bit about bows. And he's like, yeah, if you really want to kill effectively, he's like, I'd probably just have him stick with the compound. Then he told you that you need a Hoyt. Mm-hmm. He actually even was like, hey, I'll hook him up with a Hoyt. He's like, Josh knows how to get a hold of me. We'll get him a Hoyt, all this kind of stuff. And it was just super sweet for him to do that, or even just say that. And just a really pleasure to talk to him.
Yeah.
Just the kind of knowledge and stuff that the stuff he's done has been incredible. So got to talk to Cam. And then from there, it was just kind of list off all the people you talked to. Joe was running around like he owned the place.
There's one person, but I need to get to where.
All right. I'm following you.
And then Josh is doing his speech, or right before.
Oh, yeah, right before Josh's speech. So they actually whistle and kind of get everybody. It's 600 people, trying to wrangle that many people. But somebody whistled and yelled, get under the tent. Josh is going to talk. So everybody kind of gets under the tent and gets ready for Josh to talk and go from there.
The person that was next to Dad was Bip, which if you don't know who he is a sharpener for MKC, and he's an absolute legend on the User Society.
Yeah, Bip is an incredible knife sharpener. In the Facebook group, the Montana Knife Company User Society, Bip has become kind of a legend in. So I was talking to Bip, I was like, you're a legend in that group. And the legend kind of formed where people were cutting themselves on knives coming out of the package a lot, and they noticed it was always by Bip.
Huh.
And so anyway, Bip kind of has his own legend, and I was talking to him for just a second. I was like, hey, this is my son, Joe. And he's like, that's your son? I was like, yes, sir. And then I'll let you take it from there.
He pulls out his knife from his sheath and everything and hands it to me. I was like, here you go. And then tell him what you said.
Well, yeah, I was like, Bip, you don't have to give him a knife. I said, out of all the kids here, Joe's probably the last one needs a knife. And Bip was like, no, it's just a knife, man. But the cool thing is, do you want me to tell it, or you want to tell it? Okay.
So once he hands it to me, he's like, the special thing about this knife is it has my brand on it that I registered when I was 17 with my brothers. And only his brothers have that knife. And now I have it.
And it's got Bip's personal brand on it. And he told you the whole story.
It's a B over heart.
Yep, B over heart. And so that's Bip's personal brand that's registered Montana.
Yeah.
And he gave that to you, and it's super special. Super special. He didn't have to do that, and it was very kind of him.
And do not comment on this video asking for me to sell it. It's not for sale.
So that was an incredible moment. And then Josh, gave his speech. He had a Medal of Honor recipient. Pat Payne, I believe was his name, actually started everything with the Pledge of Allegiance, what was really cool. And then Josh spoke and Brandon spoke, and it was just really, it was a special moment to be there to watch that. And then after all that, we were walking around talking to people.
And and a couple minutes go by, and I'm on the other side of the tent now. And then, And then Dave, the guy that does stuff with the vlogs and stuff for MKC, walks up to me and gives me an interview for the vlog.
Well, the best part about this is at this point, and I think we've missed a few folks, but I'm actually standing there talking to Remi. Me and Remi started chatting again. And so me and Remi Warren are in the background. We're like the fuzzy people behind Joe while Joe's getting interviewed by Dave and the MKC crew. It's like me and Remi is kind of like, I guess this is where we're at in our lives. We're now in the background and Joe's being interviewed. But yeah, so we chatted with Remi several more times.
You skipped a key part. You got interviewed after, too.
I did get interviewed after, but it was funny because...
And you're like, nope, ain't doing this.
Yeah, no, not really, but Joe had it covered. So yeah, we chatted with Remi, one of my favorite guys there that we talked with a bunch. Danny Bolton. Danny, he's just, and him and Remi both, they all were, but Danny's just a down-to-earth guy, super good dude. Just chatted with him a whole bunch, and it was just a pleasure to talk to him and get to meet him.
And
again, I've met him before, but
we told him that we had a podcast, and while we were talking to him, he's like, you need to call me up and get me on your podcast.
Yeah, he definitely. And then I told him, I was like, Joe loves spearfishing. I don't know why, but anything on YouTube,
because it's entertaining and it's cool.
Yeah, with Danny or Kimmy Warren, any of these guys or gals, Joe loves to watch spearfishing. So we were talking about it. And anyway, we chatted with Danny a bunch. Joe's got pictures of all these people. I mean, you met Seth with the Bearded Butchers too.
Yeah.
Got pictures of both of them. Scott and Seth, sorry. Met both the brothers. I don't know, it's just there was people everywhere, and everyone you talked to was incredibly kind, incredibly nice. I'm trying to think. I know there's other, and then of course this is Josh and Jess's and Brandon's party. It's celebrating them. But I mean, every time I turned around, you were by one of them. They were giving you hugs, taking pictures with you. It was really special to be a part of. There were so many good people there Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just really incredible. And we hung around, and like every time I turn around, Joe's in front of a camera talking to somebody, doing something. The entire MKC crew from top to bottom, they just busted their tails all weekend. And just the start was Friday. We're going to talk about Saturday on the next podcast. We needed to break it up because it's so much stuff. But it was just really great. Got to my buddy Mike. Mike got us into cards. Joe got to meet Mike finally. Hung around with him and his wife. They
got cards right in front of me right now.
Literally looking at cards now. Got to hang out with them a ton and meet Mike's wife and his little girl.
I also wish we had their podcast room.
Yeah. Well,
they have a sweet setup.
We got the tour. We saw the Josh Smith show, the podcast room. Dave did an incredible job on that. I actually think they just dropped a YouTube video that shows that in detail.
Yeah, they did.
That thing was gorgeous. Actually, the whole facility is incredible. But I mean, it was really just walking around, seeing people, talking to people, meeting people that I've talked to, but I've never met in person.
Like Quinn.
Yep, we got Quinn in.
Which he gave us a turkey call.
He did. Mr. Quinn sent you and so it's not just a turkey call.
No, it's not just a turkey.
So Jason Phelps, who owns Phelps Games Call, before he was really Jason Phelps with Phelps Games Call, he was making some calls. Well, Quinn lived in Washington at the time, and Phelps, I want to say, is either in Washington or I think he is in Washington. Anyway,
don't ask me.
Right when he got started, Quinn ordered an aluminum turkey call from him and has had it since 2013. And
it's pretty cool.
Oh, it's incredible. And very kind. Quinn actually sent it back to Jason Phelps, had Phelps sign the turkey call and the striker and sent it to Joe and I. And I've actually been using it this turkey season. And so we got to meet Quinn.
It sounds really pretty.
Oh, it's incredible. But even more than that, the gesture was just so kind. But yeah, Quinn was there on Friday. And so Joe got to meet him finally, and I've talked to Quinn forever, but never got to meet him in person. So got to meet him, and that was super special. And there's a whole list of guys that we got to talk to, but it's just really nice to see from my perspective, and you'll understand this one day, somebody that started something in their garage. And I've been around the brand and have become friends with them enough to watch it from the outside. And just to watch what they call the American dream take place. Garage, a little bit bigger building, to 3.0 where there's there's 600 people under a tent for this private thing. And it's just one of the most positive experiences I think I've been around. And it just, I didn't see any, it was just completely, it's kind of surreal because one of the cool things for me as a dad is watching Joe run around and kind of find his own way, right? And what I mean by that is Joe's been around these people since he was little at this point, so I think he's comfortable there. But everybody being very gracious to Joe was something to watch. I mean, Remi, Cam, Danny were just incredibly kind to talk to.
Jim.
And Jim.
And Seth.
And Seth and Scott. I talked to Danny and Remi a bunch, but just the way to watch everybody interacts with you and all the MKC people, most of them are my friends at this point. It was just something special to watch. It's kind of one of those things you'll look back on and be like, I was there for that, and that's pretty cool, And the food was incredible. The company was incredible.
They also had fresh sliced brisket that you got to watch get sliced.
Yeah, apparently the pig was the best thing because Chase.
I never had it.
I know Chase was like, y'all need to go get some of that pig. They slow roasted a pig over an open fire.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, we watched it, and Chase was there with all of it, and he loves barbecue, and he kept telling me about the pig, and I
didn't know you could eat that. I thought they had to put it out somewhere too.
No, he was back there with barbecue guys and was there when they cut it open.
What?
Yeah, I know. It was pretty good. I think him and Quinn walked back there. But you got to see Tim again.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Cahoon was there, a good friend of ours.
Which, when we drove up to Montana once, we stayed at his house.
Correct. So, yeah, I mean, it was just a absolute kind of incredible event on Friday.
Yeah.
What'd I miss?
Ooh, I do want to say another thing about my knife that I got from Bip. Okay. It's also rewrapped in a wrap that you can't buy on a mini speed goat.
Yeah, it doesn't come from MKC in a red wrap, but Bip had it wrapped red. Man, I'm trying to think who else you got to see. Well, actually, you back it up. Now we're just kind of free for all, just memories we think of. As soon as you got there, Braden.
Oh yeah.
Braden actually took your speed goat that you had and sharpened it and cleaned it up.
And your mini speed goat.
And my mini speed goat. So you got to see Braden. Braden, if you go back a few episodes, Braden's the one that tried to kill me on a mountain by telling me to come up this 600 feet of deadfall. As soon as I got there, not acclimated to the altitude, sat on a tree and just thought maybe I'm not an elk hunter. That's Braden. He's like a billy goat on the mountain. Probably not the best.
But he's not an old billy goat.
No, he's young and sprightly and works out 7 days a week. Probably not who I should have followed up a mountain for the first time. But I did. Good dude. And he took care of your knife. I'm trying to think who else. Any other random memories?
Not really.
Not really? And it's all documented on video. It's all documented in pictures. There's going to be so much coming out. There's already so much that's come out from this.
Oh, I got the MKC magnet.
Yeah, I got a magnet. I want to say if we go back to our haul on Friday, we got some of the water bottles. We got a turtle box.
And I got a Velcro.
Joe he loves Velcro patches. We put them in the roof of my truck. He's been wanting one, so he got one of those. Got some shirts, got some hoodies, the turtle box. I ordered, I got that Blackfoot. I don't know. It's just.
Which we have more Blackfoot stuff coming up in the next episode.
More what?
Blackfoot stuff.
What about Blackfoot stuff?
Coming up in the next episode.
Oh, yeah. Definitely more on Blackfoots here on the next one. But I mean, it's kind of hard to put an event like this into words because I think everything was special.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's really hard to highlight it. I think if I'm just talking about Friday, and we'll talk about Saturday later. But the thing for me, and I'm kind of repeating myself, is just how humble and how kind and open and generous and polite everybody was. They were just all real people. And in maybe today's society where everything's digital and you kind of get an idea of what you think people are, or you only see what they want you to see, it's really, really nice to meet people like, Josh, Brandon, Jess, and then your people who are even more on the social media, like media side of things, like a Cam or a Remi or a Danny or the Bearded Butchers, or there's more there too. But every one of those people were so kind, so real. Like you thought you were sitting in a backyard barbecue, which you kind of were.
Yeah.
It's like, for lack of a better
Or a
phrase,
back parking lot.
they're like friends you'd go get a beer with or a coffee with or something like that. That's how they talked. And that was just really, really encouraging to see and just really something special to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Just sitting here thinking hard. He's got so many memories.
Oh, let's see. Give me a second.
Give you a second to think. Is there anything that we missed from Friday?
Friday.
Because this episode is just about the trip up and Friday. We're going to talk about the rest of the trip on the next podcast episode.
The landing in Missoula on the plane was very smooth.
Yeah, it was. Joe was rating the pilots.
But then it was a short runway, so it was like touchdown. Oh.
Yeah, they have to hit those reverse thrusters and brakes and all that fun stuff. I don't think I have anything else on Friday. I mean, you could nitpick everything, and I say nitpick, like just break down every single interaction you had. Oh, I think this is worth talking about. Another one of the nicest guys, Mr. John Hayes. I don't know how we didn't mention John.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know, John Hayes has Hayes Taxidermy. He is an incredible artist.
He does stuff for Steve Ranella.
He does stuff for a lot of people, but definitely Steve Ranella is one of them, a lot of the Meat Eater crew. I talked to Mr. John at the first grand opening 3 years ago for a long time, and is just a super nice fella. But Mr. John, I saw him, and I didn't know he was going to be there, but I got to see him, and again, just a super nice guy. And we talked for probably 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Joe got to talk to him. He always tells me about all the turkeys he has in his yard. He wants us to come up to the shop, and I told him, I was like, next time we actually make this a trip up here, we're gonna have to get up there. He's in Libby, Montana.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's up there. But if you haven't, go check his work out. I mean, he's a true artist. It is incredible to see some of the stuff he does. And
while you were talking to him, I went over to Dave and asked him if he got a new mic to interview people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, I did.
Joe watches so much of the stuff and loves so much of it. He noticed that Dave, who does all the video vlogs and all that stuff for MKC and is an incredible content, he's behind the camera. So if you see it, it's probably Dave. He knew Dave got a different microphone to interview people
because it used to be like it used to be fuzzy, but now it's just like a square.
Yeah. Joe's a little stalker sometimes. But so yeah, that was another one that just kind of goes in the theme with everybody else. Just super, super kind and very much enjoyed speaking with him too. So
he was really nice. We'll cover something else in the next episode.
Yeah. So anything else on Friday? Otherwise, we're gonna wrap this one up.
No.
Riding on cloud 9 when we got back to the hotel.
What do you mean?
You were just riding around on cloud 9. You were so excited.
Oh, yeah.
Just absolutely excited. So give you a little preview. Saturday was the big public grand opening. Friday was, I guess, the private one. So yeah, we'll pick up part 2 in the next episode because we're right at 40 minutes now. And so we don't.
Oh, that's our longest podcast.
Yeah, we don't really go this long. So that's why we wanted to break it up. But definitely stick around. There's some fun stuff coming up in the next episode.
Yeah.
If you thought Joe walked around like he was part of the MKC crew on Friday, Saturday's a completely...
Other people probably thought I was an employee.
Yeah, you should have been at that point. So
then Saturday, I acted like an employee.
Yeah, pretty much. So I don't think I have anything else on this one.
Me neither.
So hang around. Next episode coming to you is going to wrap up our Montana trip with MKC 3.0 grand opening.
Yeah. Let's do a tip.
Oh, we got a tip.
And joke.
Okay. Well, come on, bring it to me.
Okay, so this tip is more like for younger kids still getting used to recoil of guns. You want to hold the gun as tight as you can to your shoulder to kind of reduce the feeling of the recoil.
Okay.
Because I know that helped me when I was younger.
All right.
Getting used to recoil.
That's a good tip. They can use that when they're getting out for bears this spring. Because if you're down south,
yeah, you
got a little while. But all our friends up north, it's bear season.
Yeah.
As of today, and turkey season.
So my joke, what do sheep call my jokes?
What?
Bad.
Ha 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 ha. I'll support that one. That was bad, but did you just make that up on the fly?
I made it up earlier while I was sitting on the couch.
Okay, well, I'll give you that. Continue to listen here for more bad jokes.
This is Bad Joke Central.
That's right. All right, what do we need to do?
Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
That's right. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you later.